say, okay guys, now imagine there's going to be a building. And now there is. We are passing the Harkins Theater, which is actually the second business to open in Lower Bricktown. We're pretty grateful for that. They became sort of a cornerstone. We're going to get real close to that bush. This is the section where we could not, we're going to bump on purpose.
You're going to want to...
The section that we could not pass by, which is why we were meeting over there. It is called the Narrows. It earned its name. I do also like pointing out Harkins because, in my opinion, the Harkins is one of the best examples of the transformative nature of Oklahoma City, because where this building is now used to be a landfill. And we got it all cleaned up. It looks great. It smells great. But they do say that that's why the popcorn tastes funny to this day. This is of course a joke. You know, I'd never actually slandered the Harkins. I put way too much butter on my popcorn to know Sonic, the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
You're welcome. Sonic is actually an Oklahoma original company. The very first Sonic was technically in Shawnee, Oklahoma. It started as a steakhouse called Top Hats. But Shawnee is a college town. And college students don't usually have steakhouse money. So one summer they opened a hot dog stand in the parking lot and they sold hot dogs, root beers, slushes. It was Sonic. And it did so well, fully outperformed that steakhouse. So we stuck with that idea. The first real Sonic was in Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's where they implemented the push button.
Yeah.
You get this. Their slogan was service at the speed of sound. And when you approach the speed of sound, you get a sonic boom. It's been a pun the whole time. We've been had by a dad joke from the 50s. Reason I bring it up is we're actually passing the former Sonic headquarters right now. It's now a water's edge, which I actually think is kind of appropriate. There is a lot of water here in the canal, about 3 million gallons of water. I'm not jumping in there. I know what's underneath those waters.
Waterfall!
Alligators.
Look at Gigi.
And here we have a working waterfall. This is actually the largest waterfall on the canal. It's our very own Niagara Falls. Too bad that the Devon Mosaic was Marble Water Sail. I will say that the water here is actually cleaner than you might. Well, though, there's a guy who lost his hat. Relatable. It gets windy out here sometimes. Behind that wagon, there's a horse doing a little bit of a front flip. He's actually tripping over some of the items that come bursting out of the back of that wagon due to the rough terrain. Behind that horse, there's a woman holding her baby, and the dog right next to the horse, right next to that wagon wheel, actually. That is the second smallest statue in the monument at 600 pounds. This is very specifically the 1889 Land Run Monument. That's something that was very important to the artist, Paul Moore. His grandmother came, I'm going to start in a different place. His grandfather came in a land run, but his grandmother came on the Trails of Tears. And the 89 Land Run is the only one that did not break any treaties, so it was very good. One. If you were in this monument, you would be 9 feet 1.5 inches tall. I'm 5'3". If I were in this monument, I could finally reach the top shelf. It took Paul Moore around 20 years to finish this, which is roughly a third of his current lifetime, so he put a lot of his life into it. You see right here next to us, this guy who's tipping his hat? He's actually tipping his hat towards Paul Moore's father. The woman riding side saddle right next to the water is his mother. And this gentleman here on the buckboard wagon, he does admittedly look a little bit like Colonel Sanders, or a little bit like you, sir. That is Paul Moore himself. This is the most photographed spot on the entire canal. And I am so sure he did that on purpose.
Look at that.
What a way to sign your work, right? Dude's a genius. And you might recognize the guy riding right next to him. This is Oklahoma's favorite son, Will.